Mauri te whānau, welcome on into the practice run, your home of everything inaugural and beyond. Your host Rauri alongside co-host Tukoirangi. Welcome. This is our first ever practice run. That was our first ever intro run, but we'll go through a bit of a kōwai o. Ko Rauri rātahi, he iri tēnei o Taranaki te Aotearoa me Ngāti Maru hoki. Rauri, born and raised here in Waitara, Taranaki, at a big Brisbane Broncos fan, as you can see, as you can tell, and I hope we go all the way this year, back up last year's success. But I'll throw it over to the brother Tukoirangi. What's good?
Kia ora whānau, good to see everyone. My name is Tukohirangi Pini, heuri tēnei no Te Arawa e Tākitimu, Ngāti Kahununu ki te Wairarapa, me tapu e ko iwi. Don't have an NRL top as of yet, so I'm repping the who I think will win the Super Bowl. I'm probably going to get MVP or Mini Goat or Patrick Mahomes. I'm a Bulldogs fan, so I will not stand for any Bulldogs slander. Don't come at me at the chats, I will come back at you.
Hey, the Bulldogs are on the rise. Maybe in the next 3 years. The next 3 years. Hey, but quickly on that Pat Mahomes thing. Is he technically the GOAT if he got his first regular season loss to Tom Brady, his first playoff loss to Tom Brady, and his first Super Bowl loss to Tom Brady? Does that make him the GOAT?
He can catch him. I don't know if he will catch him. He just got him at the start of his career. We all know it'd be a different story of Tom Brady if they met each other at a different time, you know? Be interesting to see what would have happened if they played each other a few more times with Mahomes ascending and Tom Brady on the way out. Just the way it is.
Yeah. Two other spectrums of the careers, but also Tom Brady beat him at his final, it was second to last year of his career. So
fair enough.
He bout that action. So the practice run. What is the practice run, and where did the name stem from? Surely you can answer this one.
So, well, the idea came from the bro Rawari wanting to start a sporting podcast. I'm not really a podcaster myself, but I thought I'd jump on, give it a go. The name itself, we ran through many different iterations. We couldn't come up with anything that stuck. And, well, pretty much how this podcast came about, we were like, we'll just give it a run. Just give it a practice run. And I think it was you that said it. Someone just said it, like the practice run. And we were all like, oh, that might just be it. Because we talked about having a practice run so many times. So many times it just fell through. We just couldn't do it. And then for it to finally happen. And the name pretty much just came from there. Yeah, practice run tonight. Oh, no, next week. Oh, no, this time. Name kind of just stuck.
But that's it. This is just. I feel like that's the perfect name for it too, because it just emerged organically within the group chat. Just yo, practice run. That's us.
Yeah, definitely.
So whānau, you'll be seeing the practice run a little bit more often. To start with, we're just going to dive into NRL and rugby league, just because we don't have a lot of capacity. We're struggling to get these practice runs in, so we're just going to stick to just one sport for the moment. And as our capacity grows, as this podcast grows, then we might be able to touch on different sports. We will highlight key things like the Super Bowl, NBA finals, Super Rugby finals, obviously the NRL finals, but our primary focus will be on the NRL and all things rugby league. So if that sounds like a bit of you, and you're all about just having a laugh and messing things up along the way, well, that's what the practice run is all about. We're just here to just have some fun and give it a jam. So welcome you on our journey. It's going to be a wild one, and you'll see us go from these humble beginnings to maybe, who knows, one day two might have a better camera.
One day, we'll get there one day, man.
Well, one of the big things coming up at the moment, and the timely way for us to introduce this, because currently we're recording this on Waitangi Day, is the NRL All-Star Game, and it is our Indigenous brothers from across the ditch versus our Mauri tangata whenua right here in Aotearoa. We were like, oh man, we could write our own predicted round one All-Star team, but we were like, nah, let's go all time. Let's unlock some legends. Let's bring back some names. So you guys listening at home or watching this on YouTube, write down your top 13 players from both Indigenous and Maori All-Stars and compare them against our teams. The criteria is real loose. If they're eligible for either or, they don't have to have played for it, because obviously if we're going to get some legendary players, the game in this current format wasn't around back then. So criteria is pretty loose. As long as you have a bit of whakapapa, then you're in the squad. How do you want to run this? Do you want to go? You call your player first, and I'll call my player. We probably will have double ups.
Yeah, definitely.
But that's all good. It just means that's probably the solid pick at that particular position.
I don't mind starting off in just doing the whole team. I kind of went a different route from, I know we were meant to do all-time teams, but I was struggling with the greats and who to put on and who to leave off. So I kind of did my team a little bit different, especially more specifically for the Mauri team. So I can kick us off with my Mauri All-Star team. So the rule that I had in place was they had to have played in the All-Star game. So unfortunately, there will be no Stacey Jones, Ruben Wiki, or people like that on my team. And that was just to make it easier for me more so than anything. But to kick it off, at fullback, we have Kalen Ponga. I think that's pretty stock standard. My wingers, on one wing, I've got Jordan Rapana. He's one of my favourite players. And the other wing, we've got DWZ, who captained the Mauri team. My centres, I've gone with Joey Manu. That dude's just a beast. And I've gone with Peter Hiku. Big fan. I know some people don't like him. You either like him or you don't. I personally, I think he does the job. My halves, I got Jerome Hughes and Benji Marshall. Benji is one of my captains. Again, just probably the greatest Mauri inaugural player, I'd say. At 9, I went with Brandon Smith. Sorry, Isaac Luke. It's just a... I just like Brandon Smith. It's as simple as that. My front row, I went with James Fisher-Harris and Jesse Bromwich, who's my other captain. Second rowers, I went with Tohu Harris and Kenny Bromwich. I just think those two are just classy players. And to round it off at 13, I went with Joey Tapine. So that's the team.
Oh,
I like it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's a solid team. And yeah, see, the stipulation you put on yourself definitely left a few gaps in there. Like,
definitely.
Yeah, because that Benji Stacey combo would have been.
That's who I had. It was originally Benji Stacey, and then I was like, oh.
Yeah.
The other one was Ruben Wiki.
That would be a
Ruben Wiki was in there. I thought about putting him at centre. The other one was, I think, Isaac.
No, that's a solid lineup. I don't know about Peter Hiku. Don't know about the Peter Hiku.
No, man, dude gets it done. I'm telling you. And Adam Blair. Like Adam Blair was the other one.
Yeah. Oh yes.
I just have too many memories of his later days where he's good for always giving up a penalty. Just pisses me off. Really, Adam Blair though, jeez, he's good.
His time at the Tigers, eh?
Every time, bro. Penalty every time.
Hey, he's one of bloody Vince's players, eh? Tiger Man. He came to the Broncos and started doing all right.
Yeah, well, when he was with the Storm,
got him a contract with the Warriors.
He was a lead at the Storm, and then gives up too many penalties.
That's a solid, well-rounded lineup, and given your criteria, your stipulations that you put on the team, that's a pretty good team. Minus the Peter Hiku. He's like a what's his name? He's like a better rated Adam Pompey.
He has his moments, Peter Hiku, man.
All you Warriors fans.
But there are mainly Warriors fans that don't like him. Well, I know the bro Mana can't stand him.
Adam Pompey, eh?
Oh, probably him and Peter Hiku. Can't stand him at all.
Gee, they're both the same now. Cut from the same cloth, those two. Well, I'll dive into my Mauri All-Stars. Now, at fullback, I was going to go with Kalen Ponga, but this guy, he's got Mauri whakapapa, so he's in the squad. He may not have played for us yet. There's still a chance, but he could play also for the Indigenous side. He is arguably the number one fullback in the game right now. The Broncos number one. We're going with Reece Walsh, electrifying at the back there. You can't not have him, man. He's got some Mauri whakapapa, and it's all it takes. It's all it takes, whānau, just a little bit. You got one iwi that you whakapapa to, we'll take you. And that's what brings me to my wingers. I didn't know he had a bit of a whakapapa in him, but we got Jason Nightingale and DWZ on our
Oh,
wings.
Nightingale.
I was a big fan of Nightingale coming up.
Great player.
Like he was a staple in that Kiwi side, reliable, could catch the ball, could score tries, could tackle. He's just a hard nose, and he looked Pākehā is, but he's a Mauri, so cheer to the Cuzzies. In my centres, of course, I took Joey Manu, but I also put in Sean Kenny Dowell. Like if you watched rugby league, like early 2010s, Sean Kenny Dowell was a staple in that Roosters side when they won the premiership and that. Another great Kiwis player. He brought back so many memories, so I can't go past Sean Kenny Dowell. My halves, obviously Benji and Stacey, because I went with All Stars, and Stacey is the captain. Just because, you know, Matua, he's out there, he's putting it in for the club. In my props, I've got James Fisher-Harris and Ruben Wiki, two just hard-hitting mongrels. They're going to be running it up the gut, running it straight. They're not even going to worry about passing. They catch and run, those two. So get out the way, because it's going to be a headache. At 9, even though the bro's from Taranaki, he's from Hawara, you know, he's whānau, but yeah, I felt Brandon Smith too. He's everything you want in a 9, man. He's everything you want and more at the 9 position.
Sorry, Cuzzy.
So sorry, bully. Yeah, sorry, my bro. But yeah, Brandon, we just need a modern 9. We need a modern 9. And look, if we wanted a scrap, I probably would have put in bully, but I think we want to win the game, not the fight. In the second row, I got Arwen Gutenbeil alongside Jordan Ricky, just another Broncos player. I got to put in as many as I can. Also, fun fact, our 13 is going to be Tohu Harris, who Rob told us a story about being stuffed in a boot, driving all the way from Hawke's Bay to this rugby camp in central North Island. And Rob's like, how did he get here? They're like, oh, no, he wanted to come, so we put him in the boot. And so Rob had to drop him off all the way back home and then go back to wherever Rob was living at the time, just because Tohu wanted to come down for a bloody, like a pre-season run. I did have, Jerome Hughes as some honourable mentions, Jesse Bromwich, Sam Perrott, Joey Tapine, and Clinton Torpy from back in the day. I thought he would have been a rocket in that squad as well. But yeah, like you said, if you start adding legends in, it gets hard to pick a team that you want to stick with, because there's so many people you're like, oh, I could switch in and out. But I'm happy with my team. I've got a few throwback names in there.
Yeah, man, your team's looking pretty solid, eh? Questions around Jordan Ricky, but all right.
Hey, man, I'm a Broncos guy.
Yeah, no, I was the same with the.
Hey, we all got to have someone that's the Peter Hiku.
Reece Welsh, can't really fault you on that. But I'm rolling with Ponga, the Dally M. I actually forgot about Jason Nightingale, eh?
That was questionable.
Fair, I don't think it was on my mind. Sean Kenny Dowell,
you didn't think he was Mauri?
No, I think because he's got that tattoo, right? Or like he's got the tamako. Not that makes.
Yeah, but so does Robbie Williams. Yeah.
But yeah, Sean Kenny Dowell, he's kind of like Joey Manu before Joey Manu, man. Hit that fend in there offload. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, gee. Nightingale, he's a great player. Good pickup.
Great finisher, eh? Man.
Wicked. He's so underrated, I reckon.
Definitely. Alrighty, shall we move on to this Indigenous team?
Yeah, can I just preface this by saying, whānau, if you can find a better hooker for this Indigenous team, let me know, because, brother, I am struggling. I have no idea.
There was the one spot I couldn't.
What was that?
Couldn't find a hooker. Also, I need another prop. So, what about you start, and so I can listen to you have it prop, and then it might make my team.
Well, see, both of my props are legends.
Oh yeah, well I'll just Google see if they played.
Although one I think has played.
They like
one has
Yeah,
played.
all they had to do, like, because the
I've
Indigenous
got
team's always in it, so I had a lot more to pick from in the Indigenous team as opposed to the Maori All-Star team.
all right. Well, let's and because like we're both Maori, so it makes it a little bit easier for us to like know who our players are. So it's not as yeah. Sorry, Indigenous whānau from across the ditch, but it's just it is what it is. Okay, I'm Maori. I'm more likely to like my Maori players. But you fellas got some speedsters that we cannot catch, and they will be listed here. So at fullback, I've gone. I've kind of gone with some connections here. So
Okay.
like I really would have put in Preston Campbell, but I've gone with Matt Bowen.
Mm.
Gone with Matty Bowen from the Cowboys. As a Broncos fan, he gave us so many headaches growing up. So Matt Bowen, he's my number one pick there. Um, the kind of like a little bit biased. I could have put in Trell in this team, but he's a bit of a mission because I thought someone else probably would have picked him up, and I was trying to go for slightly different people. On the wings, I got Josh Adokar and Wendell Saylor for a bit of a throwback player. I was gonna put Jarrell Yao on there because of his time at the Broncos. He had a very short career, but man, he was explosive on the wing. So he just missed out, and I put Wendell over him. In the centres, you can't go past GI. If you don't have GI in your centres, you can have anyone else partner GI. But if you don't have GI in your centres, what are you doing? Man, he was uncatchable back in the day. I remember there was that whole stat like GI's never been caught from behind after he's had like a line break or a pass intercept. He's just gone. No one's caught him. In the other centre, I've gone with another Bronco, and this one's probably the sketchy. Like I could have put in Latrell, but I went with Hodjo because I'm a Broncos guy. There's a lot of Broncos players in both my teams. It's not a bad pick. He's still a winner. He still knows how to get it done. He played Origin at the highest level. He's won a few premierships, but yeah, Hodjo he gets that nod. In the halves, this is kind of where I struggled a little bit because I didn't know who would pair Thurston. So I got Thurston at the 7, and we've got Loz at the 6. So Laurie Daly's at our 6.
Ah,
So that's our
yeah.
halves combo. At prop, to be honest, I only put him in there because everyone always talks about this legendary man. I've never seen him. I'm a bit too young to see this fella play. But I've gone with Arthur Beetson at prop. I was going to put Carl Webb. So that's my backup if we just leave Arthur Beetson off the list because I hear he was like the Jonah Lomu of props for the NRL. We'll leave the hooker till last. My other prop I got Andrew Fafita. So he's another solid player. Just eats up those meters, runs hard, gives you everything you need. In my second row, another couple of Broncos, Gordon Tallis and Sammy Daire, two big boppers. You don't really want to mess with them. They're probably going to get a bit fiery. Might throw a punch or two in there. And then at 13, I've got David Fafita from the Broncos, former Bronco. I'm going to play him at lock. Just going for a big lineup because, got a little bit of speed and skill in the Maori side. So I went for a bit more power and mongrel in the Indigenous side to match our Maori boys. And for hooker, he's a bit of a army Swiss knife. New South Wales have used him all over the field, and so we're going to use him. We're going to use Jack Whiten at hooker. That's our all-star Indigenous all-star lineup.
It's not bad, man. Not a bad team you got there. Yeah, Jackie Whiten, at the 9. Interesting.
Yeah, we can pass.
Yeah,
So
interesting.
he can pass. He can die out of dummy.
I was the same with you about picking the legends again, like Arthur Beetson. You're saying I haven't seen him play at all. That. But yeah, no, that's a solid team. We pretty much. Oh, you'll see it. It's similar. We got a lot of similar people in our team. Again, just a few of those greats just left off because they didn't play in the All-Star game. But again, that was just to make it easier for me. So onto my team at fullback. I went with GI at fullback. I was like,
yeah.
Sorry, Benny Barber. I love you as a player.
Oh, Ben Barber would have been mean.
Great bulldog. We don't condone it.
Well, why did you go GI over anyone else?
Because it's
And
GI.
why not GI in the centres?
Because the one you left off is the
True,
one
he
that
can
I
play
put
almost
in.
anywhere.
No, because he was originally
Yeah.
at
So
the
I knew someone
centre,
would
but
pick him
then I
up.
was like, oh, but I also want him in the team. Oh, we'll just put GI at fullback, and then he makes the team. So yeah, I've got GI at fullback. My wingers are the same as yours, Wendell Sailor, and I'm not leaving the Fox off. Of course, he makes the team. At centre, I got Hodjos and Latrell. So that's why
Oh,
GI got shifted to
yeah.
fullback because Latrell's there and Hodges is there. So yeah, that was
Yeah, Latrell's like just a
yeah,
smaller
pretty much.
GIA, so you can't go
Yeah.
wrong either way.
I went with Thurston at 7, and I went with Cody Walker at 6. Just yeah,
Oh,
I figured
yo,
just put Cody
nice.
Walker there, have him with Latrell, GI at the back. Thank you very much. Same with you. I went with Andre
Yeah.
Fafita for prop. He's not much to say there. I went with Kyle Webb as my other prop. It would have been Arthur Beatson, but yeah. I went with David Fafita
Yeah.
and Sam Friday as my second rower. It would have been Gordon Tallis. I would have taken out Fafita and put in Gordon Tallis there. At 13, I went with Greg Bird. I was kind of humming and hawing over the 13. That
Yeah.
was like one spot. And then the 9, similar to you, I couldn't think of a 9. I was thinking of Peachy, just because he's played pretty much everywhere, it feels like. I haven't had him down for 13 for a bit there. But I thought I should probably put him in the team because it's pretty much his whole idea, the All-Star thing. So I decided to go with Preston Campbell at 9. I was like, if it's your idea, you should probably make the team.
That,
So yeah, that's part of my team. Yeah.
I was gonna put Preston at my fullback, but I wanted Thurston and Matt Bowen to have that combo together.
That was a killer
I was like, you
combo,
can't beat
man.
that combo. Once those two start figuring each other out, man, he's just darting around. He's always there in support. He was just unfortunate to come up in the same era as Billy Slater.
I was Whiten. It was between Whiten and Hodges for me, in the other centre.
In the
Yeah,
centres. Oh,
I was like, oh, maybe Jackie Whiten.
yeah, I had to have Whiten in the team. I couldn't leave him off because I was like, man, he's too electric.
Yeah.
So I got to find a spot, and then I was like, let's just put him at hooker. He's played everywhere. You might as well chuck him at hooker.
Yeah. Well, I was going to chuck him at 13. I was like, let's just chuck him with the ball playing number 13.
I just didn't want to put Greg Bird in at 13 because I just didn't think he'd have what it takes to go up against that Mauri squad. He's just, he's not quite that man. Like, he's an amazing player, but if I had to pick from a Sharkies player, it would have been Paul Gallen at 13.
That guy.
Oh, G-Train. The all Indigenous boys have so many different wingers. They got so much speed on the squad. Like, you've also got Gay Guy who could have been in the squad. You've got
Blake Ferguson, or Mr. Crooked Nose.
Yeah, Fergo. Shit, that's right. Fergo, Katoni Staggs, Cobbo. All these Bronco boys. Yeah, bro, it's got to be a mean game. It's currently, I think, 2-2 in the actual All Stars matchup between the Indigenous brothers and Mauri. They won the first one, we won the next two, and they won last year's competition. I'm not too sure what the score is with the girls. I know the Indigenous girls, I think, won it last year. I think they got the clean sweep last year, eh? Both the girls
I think
and
so,
the
yeah. I remember the boys were too classy for
Gale?
us. Are we sure? I remember, wasn't there a video of the girls singing? Was that them?
Yeah, no, maybe the girls won last year.
I just remember
Because
Tūtira Manga
Gordon and all
Iwi
that on
being
the squad,
thrown
but I
out there
thought they
somewhere.
lost.
Was that them?
Nah, I think that was the Women's World Cup.
Oh, yeah, that could be it. Let's just have a quick little look, eh?
Yeah, we'll have a look. Have a look.
Who's this? Is this the girls or the... Oh, here we go, women. Was our girls 18-8?
Oh,
And then
nice,
the
nice.
Indigenous
So
one at the year before.
hoping they can. Yeah, yeah. So we're hoping they can back it up again. We've got some strong wahine coming through rugby league in
Hmm.
general. The women's game is growing. They got more teams, and it's actually a pretty good product to watch. It's they just don't kick as far, but it's a very refined um, sport package. They've got some amazing players, a few standout players in the women's division. For me, I'm a big fan of Kizzy Apps. Oh shucks, what's her name from the Roosters? Um, oh heck,
Who's that? I think she plays fullback. Does she play fullback for the? I know there's that one that played fullback for the Eels because she used to play for the Sevens team and she was carving up. Um,
oh
can't quite remember.
Gail Broughton.
Yeah.
She's at the Broncos, or she was at the Broncos last year.
Oh, true.
Yeah, yeah. We had a stack team. We still didn't make it that far. I was gutted. Oh, that fullback, is it the fullback from the Knights that got the Dally M?
Yeah, the Pākehā one.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
she's
yeah,
all
yeah.
class. That one. That Knights team's good, eh? Bruh.
Yeah,
I
that
think I think
Knights
they're going
team
for a
is
three-peat.
stacked.
Yeah,
Yeah, this year.
man.
Yeah. Salary cap, man. Check them out.
Mm.
They're like those 1990s Newcastle Knights, early
Mm.
2000s with the Johns brothers. Who else is another good female player to look out for? Jess Surgis, she's not too bad. She normally plays in the
Mm.
centres. Talia Fuyamanu, I feel like everyone just follows her
On
just
her
because
Insta,
she's
right?
very pretty. Um, yeah, yeah.
She goes out with doesn't she date
Uh,
the one I think he was at the Roosters but then got shifted to South? Or was it the other way around? Winger.
maybe,
Right?
probably,
Because I think we were looking at signing him
probably.
for a bit there. I forget his name.
Oh,
You'll know him if you see him.
and who else? Um, there's a whole bunch more. I can't think of them. We'll come up with a list of players to watch out in the
Mm-hmm.
NRL dub in one of our future podcasts, and that way you guys can, watch some footy before the boys kick off because the girls always play earlier in the day. So it's if you're in New Zealand, it's at a time where it's acceptable to watch footy, whereas the grand final kicks off at like fucking 10 o'clock here. So it's a bit of a mish. It's a bit of a mish, but we're here for that. And speaking of players to look out for and teams to watch that are on the rise, we'll throw it over to two to give us a breakdown of the projected round one team for the Bulldogs.
Yes, sweet as. So I just went off. Who's this team? I think it's Fox Sport. Oh no, it's just the NRL one. So this is who they got projected to start for the Bulldogs. Now, do I agree with it? Not completely. And I think this is also injury dependent because one of the players they got here, I'm not too sure if he'll actually be fit for the first round. So, who they got at fullback is Blake Taff. He's my starting fullback as well. I think his speed and his playmaking ability, he should be good there. I know people are talking about Stephen Crichton, him coming over as a fullback. He's an elite centre. I don't think we need to change anything there. Just keep him at centre where he's already elite. If he can maybe learn that roaming role like all the other great centres do, then why not? But yeah, I don't really see we need to change there. They've got Josh Adokar and Jacob Curraz as our wingers. That's who I have as our wingers too. I think Curraz, even though he could shift to centre, again, he's just good there. We need his carries. He's a real strong carrier from the backfield, so we kind of need him for that first or second hit up. Centre here, they got Stephen Crichton, yep, and Connor Tracy. I'm not too sure if Connor Tracy will be fit enough. I know he's got an injury. Personally, I think he'll end up there. I'm kind of tossing and turning with Bronson Cherry. I think it's too early for him to come back. but I think if he's good enough, he'll probably crack the team. Or there was talks about just moving Cuzzies to centre and bringing in another winger, which would probably be Blake Wilson, who... Blake Wilson's good, but he botched quite a few tries for us and pissed me off. So yeah, they got in our halves. They got Matt Burden at 6 and Toby Sexton at 7. Obviously, Matt Burden's our 6. There will be no Matt Burden slander on this podcast. But I'm actually all for. I think we should go with Drew Hutchinson. He's my 7. I just think he's a little bit older, been around the block for a little bit, great player. Yeah, I think we just need an older head at that spot. So that's who I have. And I think if I didn't have him at 7, I would have him at centre over Connor Tracy. I think he's too good to leave out of the team, pretty much. We just need to find a spot for him. And I'm hoping he can beat Toby out for that number 7 in preseason. At our props, we got Max King and Liam Knight. Yeah, that's probably going to be our starting. Our props are not, our forward stocks aren't the greatest. It's where our team kind of lacks. So yeah, it's definitely where I think all of us Bulldogs fan want our next signing to come from is a forward, specifically a prop. We need someone there. Hooker, Reid Mahone, yeah, I think he just forced his hand a bit too much last year. If he just plays his game, he'll be good. Our second rowers, they pretty much picked themselves. We got Jacob Preston and Viliami Kikau. And yeah, I don't see anyone beating him. I think Preston's an 80-minute player at this point. Maybe not so much Kikau, but he can if he needs to. They've got Josh Curran at 13. Now, here's another one that I wasn't too sure. I'd probably have him off the bench.
Starting?
Yeah. Again, man, we got no forwards. It's our weak spot. I was actually thinking of maybe going a little bit smaller and putting Kurt Mann at 13. Have him there at that spot.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, but they've got Kurt Mann at 14, Ryan Sutton, Sam Hughes, and Mr. Jamin, what's his name? Jamin Salmon, the one from Penrith. Yeah. Everyone's got big reps on Sam Hughes this coming season because of what Phil Gold did. He said they pretty much asked him who's the one coming through, and he said his name, which is what he said about Jacob Preston last year. So, yeah, everyone's looking forward to him. They don't have a Jake Turpin in the team, which I think he might make it. I think days of the 80-minute hooker are over. Unless Kurt Mann is there for that. But again, I think I'd rather have him as a ball playing 13. So yeah, that's the team. I like our backs. We just need a 7. I hope it's going to be Drew Hutchinson. And we need a prop, man. So yeah, it would have been Tokiaho, but obviously that deal fell through. Cowboys, if you want to let go of Tomalolo, we'll take him. Preferably at half price, but we will definitely take him. Yeah.
Old 10-year Tomalolo.
Yeah, you put Tomalolo in this team. We're looking good.
Yeah. I feel like he might need a change of scenery too. Like, he's been doing mahi, but I feel like he could definitely need a bit of change of scenery somewhere down the line.
Yeah. And I think the other one we were looking at is the May that plays for the Roosters. Not, the May brothers, like Taylor May.
Oh yeah.
It's the prop. I forget his first name. Is it Tyrell? Yeah, Tyrone, Taylor, and Tyrell. Because I know their names all start with T. Yeah, I think it's Tyrell. Yeah. Yeah, I think we're looking. We might actually be looking to bring all 3 over. Yeah, I think we're looking at him for next year. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Like a Antetokounmpo situation.
Pretty much, bro. Yeah. But yeah, that's our team. Predicted for week 1. It's definitely going to change. I just hope it doesn't change as often as it did last year.
Yeah, you definitely need some consistency within a lineup just so that you can build up those partnerships and those connections, like how we talked about previously with Jonathan Thurston and Matt Bowen. Like that connection was electric. So you just need to find those people that can partner together really well and complement one another really,
We
really
just need
well.
to stick to one
It's
side,
going to be
stick
an
Bird
exciting
inside.
season.
Like it should really be Birding, Kickout, Crichton, Fox. Like if that's not the left side, I don't know what we're doing. Put that side up against anyone.
That
That's a
that
stack. That's a stack left side. Who cares about the other
that
side?
is, yeah, bro.
Who cares?
That would be
Uh,
hectic. Fuck yeah, I'll be down to see
yeah,
that.
it better be. But yeah, I'll hand it over to you, and you can let us know your thoughts on your team and what you've got lined up. Predict the first round.
I'll find no. I'm always a staunch Broncos fan. It feels better to be a Broncos fan, after last season than it has in previous years. We've gone through some tough times. We've gone through some tough times. We've had lots of heartbreak at the grand final. I mean, was it 2014 when Ben Hunt dropped it? But even before he dropped the ball for that knock on for the easy kick out in front, to get the try to tie the game, he missed the tackle. So it was all his fault. That whole end of that game was all his fault. But it's okay because he's come back a stronger player, and we would love him to come back. We would love for him to come back.
I was hoping we would make a play at him.
He's a classy player, man. He's a classy player, and going away from the Broncos is just proved, he's still that guy. Some of the big key changes from last season into this season's squad is the fact that we've lost Herbie. He was like one of our key players on attack outside of Reece Walsh. Herbie Farmer was super electric. And again, I've also got this from inaugural.com. We've lost Keenan Palacia to the Titans. Flegler, our starting prop, has gone to the Dolphins to team up again with Herbie. Fuck those Dolphins, man. Get some more players that aren't from the Broncos, man. Half their team's ex-Broncos players or ex-Storm players. Out. And then Capo, which was a huge surprise to me, actually, that Capo left at the end of the season. I think he left this side of Christmas to join the Warriors, catch up with his old coach that he had partners with in Penrith. Good on him, though. He's still a solid player. He's getting on a bit. I hope that he can find some form that he did from the Panthers that landed him the contract with the Broncos over at the Warriors. They deserve to go all the way this year. The Warriors do. The fan base definitely deserves it. The team, the players, they all deserve to get there. So hopefully this is the year. But I don't want to hear you bastards talking about this is our year. If you win game one, I don't want to hear nothing. Get to the finals and then talk about this.
They would have been there if it was a ref
anyway.
who had looked at that pass that Welsh did. They were playing NFL for a second there.
Nah, even beyond that, Pompey gave up another penalty right in front when he shoulder charged another player off the ball. Just like the game in Napier when he tugged the jersey of the player who was about to tackle. And if he didn't tug the jersey because the player was never making that tackle, they would have scored that try and won the game in Napier. So, Warriors fans, get rid of Pompey. Send him to the Broncos. He's already one of our players. But anyway, we'll dive into it. We'll start with the spine at fullback. There can be no other. He's electric. He's everywhere. He should be, the starting fullback for Queensland this year over Ponga if his form continues. Because man, he's added that spark that the Broncos desperately needed in recent years to their offense. Him alongside Adam Reynolds, man, that connection's pretty mean. So yeah, Reece Walsh at fullback. He can't really go anywhere else. At 6, we've got Ezra Mam again. 3 tries. We're up 3 tries in that grand final, man. Anyway, it is what it is. Critter, most of that's your fault, boy.
I've apologized heaps of times for that final, man. No one saw that coming.
Whānau, this guy here at home, he goes, oh, well, that's me. I'm off to bed. GG's, they've won this. Still like 20 minutes left on the clock. We're only up 3 tries. Next minute, oh, heck. Guess I'm crying in the corner. Oh, bro. Anyway, Adam Reynolds, another classy player added to this team in recent years. Man, his kicking game, phenomenal. He's probably got one of the sharpest foot outside of bloody Cleary. He's the number 1 7, I think, currently. But yeah, outside of that, Adam Reynolds, great pickup from South. Y'all are fools. Should have kept him. Should have kept him. But we'll happily take care of him. Billy Walters, again, he's serviceable at the 9. He's serviceable at the 9. They normally switch him out with Corey Pakes from time to time, so they just have that 1-2 combo. So it's not bad. Could we upgrade the 9? Definitely. Definitely could upgrade the 9.
Don't you's got
There's not too many, like...
a young buck coming through? Apparently he's like chosen too.
Man. Not true.
Yeah, like it looks like he's going to win the 14th spot. And probably give it a month and he's probably going to be the starting 9.
I'm down for that. I'm down for that. Only for us to lose him in another 2 years. I feel like we're the development area for most teams. Us and Penrith.
Because you got like the
and everyone just
biggest area, don't you?
Head. Dolphins took half of it. These are our players come from Redcliffe.
Yeah, true that.
So yeah. Then on the wings, we've got Jesse Arthurs making his return and Dean Mariner, who everyone thought would take over from Herbie, but Selwyn sort of wanted to say, can I have a jam at centres? I'll be mean at it. Look, as long as he stops coming up off the line real quick and leaving us wide open, yeah, because I don't know how many times Katoni and Herbie had to cover him because he shot up off the line, missed the tackle, and then they're trying to recover to make the tackle before the other team score a try. That was the weak side, but he's so electric on offense, so you've got to have him on the squad. Yeah, Selwyn, it's a love-hate relationship with Selwyn, but he is an electric player, super young. He can only get better. Katoni on the other side, another great player, big fan of his. Fast, he's solid, smokes people on defense. I can't say any more about him. Jesse Arthurs, another Mauri boy. The Broncos always pick up decent Mauri boys. He's a solid winger. Just puts his head down and just goes for goal. Doesn't say too much. He's quite a quiet person. I think I don't hear too much about him in the media. He doesn't yap away at people. So he just must be another humble Mauri boy. Of course, we've got Payne Haas in that prop. Locked him in for another 3 years, which is such a smart contract for both players. For both parties, sorry, because the Broncos, we don't have him for 10 years degrading like what the Cowboys have with Taumalolo. And Payne Haas is able to put 3 good years together and then get another big contract wherever he wants to go. If he wants to go back to Union, or if he wants to stay in Brisbane, or if he wants to go down and go back home to New South Wales, he has those options. He's not locked in and getting depressed in Brisbane for a 10-year contract. At the other prop, we've got Fletcher Baker, which is another good pickup there to replace Flegler. Just kind of took him from the Roosters. Brennan Piakura, he's half the reason Capo left. He's like, oh, well, these young fellas, man, they're coming through, another Mauri boy, just step aside, my man, step aside, and let them come through. And yeah, I think, like I said, Capo's going to do real well over at the Warriors, and Brennan's just going to keep getting better and better. Number 12, one of my favourite Broncos, John O'Ricky. Questionable, though, he did have off-season shoulder surgery, so we'll see. We'll see if he's healed. I mean, he was at RNA. If you follow him on Insta, you'll see he's all over the multi, but he was at RNA just recently. I think he likes to get home as much as possible, because any bye week, he's always back in Christchurch, hanging out with the whānau, so I could potentially see him maybe moving in his later career to the Warriors, or if New Zealand get a South Island team, probably go there. And then, yeah, Paddy C, big Patrick Carrigan in that 13. He's a boss, man. He's everything the Bulldogs need. He's everything the Bulldogs
The
need,
minute I
man.
seen him play, I
Paddy
was like,
Carrigan.
he's a bulldog. Chuck him out there too, then our team completely changes. Man.
Do you guys ever get like Willie Mason to come on, like as a advisor to some of the forwards and stuff like that? As a
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's part of the
just
coaching
a
staff.
old head?
Yeah, I know he was there last year as part of the coaching staff.
Man, because
Yeah.
he bleeds white and blue. Like he was a Knights for a bit, but he's Bulldogs hard. If you ever listen to their podcast, it's called Levels. He's always going on about his time at the Bulldogs and just what it meant to him there, and the bunch of guys they had. So he must be pretty disappointed in the current state of the team.
You know, every team goes through a rebuilding stage. Just hopefully we come out of it.
Some bounce back a little
Hey,
quicker.
we'll get there eventually, man. We'll get there eventually. We got rid of
I
everyone
mean,
from. There was a stat that when Raymond Faitala Mariner left, we no longer have a single player from like the 2020 team. Like all 30 of them gone.
Oh,
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
Far out.
Yeah, it's something crazy. Like in the last 2 or 3
That's a
years,
stat.
like everyone from that team's gone. Not a single person's left.
Damn. This is the year. I think this is the year for a lot of those bottom feeding teams to sort of make their claim as to why they'll be the next to challenge. Because I don't think, and I'd hate to eat my words at the end of the season, but I don't think the Panthers can go 4 in a row. 3, I definitely could see them going 3 because they still had a solid team, and they still have a solid team. But fatigue, they've played super long seasons every year for the past 3 years. Are they going to be fatigued heading into another grand final, or is that what motivates them and pushes them? Because can there be a team full of immortals? Like, could those core guys make it into the immortals if they drag them to another 4? Like that would, because Cleary is obviously going to be an immortal next, but would that make Luai up there as well? Because he's won just as much as Cleary.
I mean, it could do it. A lot of it for Luai will depend on what happens when he leaves. And probably some of those other ones too, if they choose to leave, a lot of them will probably be remembered more for what they do away from Penrith as opposed to what they did, because that system and everyone there is just so next level, it's elite. But yeah, look, they're just hard to beat. You know, that's it. Like, you can beat them on their day. It's just really, do they have off days? And they can beat you so many different ways. You know, they can run you off the park. They can beat you with just their forwards. They have a lot of tools that they can use and many different ways to beat you. And there's not many ways to beat them. You pretty much need them on an off day, and you need to be perfect. And even then, you still might lose. So it's just
You could be up 3 tries and still lose.
you know, I have them there or thereabouts. But yeah, I think in a one-off game where it's straight elimination, they can be beaten. I think if they make top 4 and they get that life, it's just hard to see them lose 2 games in a row in the playoffs. That's it. But if they don't finish top 4 and they lose their first game, I think that's the way that they're probably going to get beat. Because to beat them 2 times in a row is nearly impossible.
But I think last year though was the first time in recent memory where there have only been 2 clear standout teams. Like the top 4 weren't equals. The top 2 were equals. The third, they were on their own, and then Melbourne at the 4. Melbourne was 4th, eh?
Nah, it was the
Warriors.
Warriors, wasn't it? Because the Warriors got a life.
Warriors were 4th.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the Warriors were in a class of their own, and I think they were above Melbourne last year. Melbourne weren't quite on the same level as the Broncos and the Panthers were. But in terms of, having someone that could knock out the Panthers, it was really only the Broncos that would have, if they'd met them in the playoffs in the run up to the finals, could have matched and beaten the Panthers. Luckily, we got to see them in the final because that was the 2 best teams from last season going head to head. Whereas this year, I hope we have a solid top 4 that it could go either way. Like any one of those 4 teams could knock any one of them out on any given day. It doesn't have to be the right day or the right conditions or the right referee to knock out either one. I hope it's a competition like that, so that we can see, a change of guard. But like they say, the best teams always play at the biggest stage when the lights are the brightest. So
Yeah, they've just been there.
time will tell, whānau. Time will
Been
tell.
there, done that so often. Big time players who step up in big games. Good luck.
And they know there's 80 minutes. Don't give up. We got 80 minutes on the clock.
Yeah, man, it'll be interesting to see how you guys go. How you guys come back, after that final. Because I remember when Penrith lost to Melbourne in their first final, I already knew that Penrith were going to win the next year. I was like, oh, it's a wrap. Like, you could just see in their eyes, like, hurt is a painful tool, and it's either pushes you to be better and you take the next step up, or it just crumbles you and everything just falls to shit. Yeah, I just remember seeing their eyes.
Well, Penrith are the only team that have bounced back, because every team that Penrith have beaten have fallen to the bottom of the table.
Yeah.
Because they beat South, they've beaten Para, and who was the other team they beat? Oh, us.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the other two, they fell from, grace the next season. Everyone was like, oh, they should bounce back. They should come back and, at least challenge. But no, they've always fallen down, further down the ladder than you'd expect. So it's going to be interesting to see whether this, because our core, I think, of young guys has been a lot younger than a lot of the teams that have challenged the Panthers previously. So I think hopefully our young core can sort of take that pain, take those emotions and run it back this year. But it's going to be an interesting season. I'm here for it. I can't wait for round one to kick off. I'll be tuning in during all the preseason games and the All-Star games just to see who's firing, who looks a bit slow, who's lost a step from last year, who didn't do preseason as well.
I think every team will be good this preseason. Last year with the World Cup, I think it kind of played into some of those stars that were over there, mucking up their routine and stuff like that. So everyone pretty much has a clean slate this year, maybe bar a few players, but most of the team should be up and firing, man. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. I feel I'll be invested for about 6 games. And then our season might be over by then, but hoping it goes a little bit better than last year.
Hey man, we've got to stay strong through to the end.
Oh, we will be.
But at least everyone at home can watch the journey of us just slowly get less and less passionate.
Oh.
Hey, you'll tell, especially when it comes to State of Origin, how passionate I still am about the team by game 2. Because I've just ordered in a new New South Wales jersey, so it'll definitely be warm for game 1. Might not see it game 2.
Man, it's going to be interesting to see what happens there too, eh? But yeah.
Oh, man. It's going to be a new year. We got Madge on for New South Wales, so I'm looking forward to it. And he just, gave Australia the biggest routing as a Kiwis coach has ever seen, or even the Kiwis have ever seen. We dominated Australia over the, what was it, the Pacific Cup?
In the Tron, I think it was.
So,
yeah.
Looking forward to seeing what Madge can do with the New South team.
Should be good, eh? So what do we have to look forward to on the next podcast or the next practice run? Anything coming up? Any segments?
So, depending on the next recording, whether or not you guys get to meet Brother Vincent, will be, we'll determine from that where we're going next. But in terms of what you might see, I was thinking we can do a bit of a game, guess that superstar. 2 will come up with a superstar. I'll come up with a superstar. Hopefully we're not thinking of the same person. And then we'll just be playing it like Guess Who. We'll say, are they, do they play for a New South Wales team? No. That'll knock out a whole bunch of them. Do they play? So it's exactly like Guess Who. 2 will have a superstar. I'll have a superstar. If you're watching at home, the image will come up on the screen. But if you're listening on the radio on your way to work or wherever, play along with us. Try and guess them before either two or myself does. Will give us maybe 20 questions to try and guess the other player. Maybe less, maybe more. We'll try and refine it as the season goes. We'll also run a couple of new segments. Stay tuned. We won't give away too much about that just yet, but it's exciting. It's exciting. We're going to try and create this like a sports talk show, but we're also going to try and keep it creative, have some fun and interesting games that you guys can play along at home. Kind of bring back those old school footy show vibes, with the fat man, the big man, Sterlo, and all those guys, Bo Ryan and all the likes. So we're going to try and not replicate that, but emulate that similar energy of just lads who love footy. We're going to have some interviews throughout the season. I just need to reach out to a couple of them. I had a few lined up last year. They said they're keen. I just had to get in touch with them through the season. So we have some, and I'm not going to give them away just yet on camera, but I'll tell the bro after. But whānau, this has been the first ever practice run. Thank you so much for coming on the run with us. We love having you guys here. It's only going to get better. It's only going to get better when they get more confident on the mic. We're going to be able to throw it back and forth between one another a lot easier in the future. And then we'll have a third guy to pick on. So it'll get more fun. It'll get more fun as we go along. Any final words too?
Nah, brother, it was a good practice run, I feel. Still learning, stuff like that. It should get better and better. And, cheer to the cheer, mātua, whānau.